So good afternoon again. My name is Sylwia Szymczyk. I work in Timberland Digital Product Creation team. You've probably seen this image 1 million times now, and you perfectly know what that image shows. They are landfills full of unsold garments. And you probably think that I will start to talk now about sustainability and waste in fashion industry. And probably I should, but I won't, at least not today. Today, I want to talk about overproduction and what overproduction means for us, fashion companies. Due to United Nations statistics, we are losing every single year at least 500 billion of US dollars due to overproduction. And that totally makes sense because we spend money on physical samples, we spend money on physical garments, so on materials, on accessories, on manufacturing, on storing, on shipping, and then also on throwing out the garments we never sold. DPC was supposed to solve this problem somehow. It was supposed to bring us closer to our customers, and being closer to customers mean potentially zero overproduction. This is how fashion was supposed to look like, thanks to DPC. We were supposed to provide amazing immersive experiences to our customers. We were supposed to unlock on-demand manufacturing, made to measure, and also personalizations, things that our customers love. We were supposed to be closer to the market, so be able to better predict the demand. And we made some steps towards this future. But then something happened, and we are still here. So there is no reason why we are still here. But I had an idea for this presentation after some posts I published on LinkedIn. I asked my network if they think that fashion industry is getting back to physical samples. And I got my answer. A lot of people wrote me private messages. I had also a lot of comments. And all of that people were saying the same thing. Yes, we are getting back physical. But then when I am talking about technology, about what 3D, AI can bring to fashion industry, how close to the market we can be, how fun is working using 3D and AI, I have even higher engagement. And you may say, this is because of my network. Because, of course, I am connected with a lot of like-minded people. But I see these comments also from people that are just starting their journey in digital product creation. And all of them are saying the same thing. This is great. And everyone already knows that we have to walk this patch. But probably we have to take more comfortable shoes. As I said before, there is no one reason why we are getting back physical. A lot of fashion companies missed return on investment, and one of the reasons can be that, for example, a lot of tools, especially at the beginning, were or too complicated or didn't solve any real problems. They created much more complexity instead. Another reason is that technology needs investment, and very high ones. So, of course, and then that investment needed time to achieve return on investment. But there is one more reason, I think the most important one, I want to talk about today. But first, I want to ask a question to you. When was the last time you felt really fulfilled in your job? You felt like, yes, this is exactly what I want to do. This is what really matters. Please think a second about that, and I will tell you my story. For me, the last time was when I started, no, it wasn't the last time, it was one of the times. When I started to work at Timberland DPC, we had a lot of pushbacks from traditional teams. And one of those pushbacks was that we really can't prove the fit on digital avatar if this avatar has completely different measurements, completely different posture and proportions than our fitting models. And they were right. You can't. So I was coming from the startup that was supposed to scan human body, then put it into 3D software in order to create made-to-measure garments. I asked my manager, why don't we use the same technology and scan our fitting model, then put it into the software we are using, and try garments in this way? And he said, why not? Let's try, let's see if we find budget for that, and let's go for this. And we did. What you can see here is our scanned physical model that have different textures, but have always exactly the same measurement, posture, and proportions as our fitting model. And we can use it to try the garments. Then we can use it also in internal presentations, and probably today with rise of generative AI, we could use it also as a consumer-facing asset. And there are three main reasons why I felt so fulfilled during this experience. The first one was that my idea was appreciated by the leadership. They believed in me. Even if I just started, they thought, yes, let's try, let's give her credit. The second one was that I learned a lot during this experience. For me, it was the first time I was working for such a complex fashion company, because I had long record as freelancer, but in Timberland is the first time I am working in corporate world. I had to deal with both internal and external stakeholders, and it wasn't easy. Then I had also to deal with a lot of technical bugs. That was probably the funniest part for me, but it was a hard drive. And the last one, but not less important, was a great teamwork we had. The initial idea was mine, this is true, but then we reshaped it all together, we created this project all together, and at the end, it wasn't mine, it was ours. And then we were able to create a kind of balance inside our team, and we keep this balance also today. So what about your story? Was it like you were able to achieve the goals that company gave you and you heard from your supervisor, well done? Or it was rather that you were able to realize some of your ideas, leadership believed in you, you had a great teamwork feeling, or for example, you learned something interesting and something important for you as a professional or simply as a human being? I believe the second one. And there is a reason behind. Idea generation, feeling that you take part of something bigger, learning, are all the things that made from cavemen who we are today. During all that experiences, our brain released neurotransmitter that we call dopamine, and this is exactly the same our brain releases when we feel in love. Dopamine is a drug that our brain serves us with, and this drug is addictive. But what dopamine and fulfilling work experience has it in common with successful DPC implementation? You probably ask yourself. Actually, it does a lot. Because we won't ever be able to achieve return on investment from DPC if we won't be able to implement it in end-to-end way. And we will never be able to implement it end-to-end way without our people on board and excited about the journey they are going to take. So for too long, we forgot about the most important ingredient that technology implementation have. We forgot about people. And today, it is even more important because we started from DPC 1.0, so the one about 3D. And you have to think that technology implementation is disruptive. You can't think to put jet engine on top of horse and carriage and pretend it will fly, because it won't. You have to create an airplane. And we started with 3D where we basically needed a new skills in fashion industry. So we had initially problem with finding the skills, but let's say that today we are done with that. But we are at the beginning of DPC 2.0. So the one when we are using both 3D and AI. And we had earlier conversation during roundtable if AI is going to take our jobs. I believe it won't, but there is a lot of people that are afraid about their jobs. And somehow they may be right, because there is a lot of repetitive tasks. And that task can be automated through AI. So if we don't help these people to upskill, to use these tools, to understand that going versus technology is the only way we have today, that people will lose their job in the future. There are different frameworks we can use to leverage skills of our people, we can use to engage with them. And some of those frameworks are change management, bottom-up approach, design thinking, or open innovation. But all of them are about the same thing. I'm sorry, I have to drink something. I am talking too much. But all of them are, as I said, about embracing people's skills, people's knowledge, people's passion, and about inspiring them. So which are some common actions that are taken when we try each of these approaches? We have to start with listening. And this is the first and the most important part if we want to successfully implement technology into the company. And I don't mean creating workshops, creating presentations that like one or 2 hours long, because people are not able to focus on discussion for more than 20 minutes. It has to be short, it has to be well done, and we have to listen during these conversations. We don't have to talk only. We have to listen too. We have to network with people. And we have to network with people not only from fashion industry, not only from fashion companies, because there are a lot of different industries that are much further in technology implementation, and probably part of problems we have today, they already had, and they solved it. So why don't we use this knowledge? Then, to be able to implement technology, we have to create a kind of awareness and desire. And we can create a kind of awareness with boring presentations and workshops. But are we sure this is the kind of awareness we really need? We have to create nice, interesting experiences for our customers, because in this case, our employees are our customers. We have to sell the product to them, and this product is technology implementation. But to be able to provide them with interesting experiences, we have to understand what they like, what they are afraid about, what they want to learn, and what they want to listen. But do you think all people are comfortable to talk about their challenges? Are you comfortable to talk about your problems in the company? Please raise your hand if you are. Some of you are. This is not what happens generally, because people love to talk about their problems. This is true. But often they don't want to do it during official meetings. At least they are not senior leaders, so they feel like they can. The bottom line is always like, I feel vulnerable. And this is because we are made to be problem solvers. Our employers want us to solve problems, not to bring problems to the table. So that's why a lot of people during the meetings stay silent, even if we ask them if they have any challenges, any problems, any questions. They are just like, yeah, that's nice, I would like to do it. But then they find always some pushback, they find always some problem, some issue why they can't. So how we can move the energy they are spending on pushing us back into energy they are spending to learn and to grow. Sometimes we have to be a kind of psychologist. Sometimes we have to organize one-to-one meetings, but not official one-to-one meetings. Something like taking coffee together, something like taking lunch together, going out together. As I said, people love to talk about their problems. People love to yell that it doesn't work, it will never work, I don't want to use it, and there is 1 million reasons I don't. But not always saying that during official meetings. And once we know the problems, once we gained also some ideas to solve the problems, we are ready to set up the project. But also here, we have to continue to listen. Because we need the feedback from the teams that will be involved in the project. And we have to be prepared that maybe we have to change the way, maybe we have to pivot somehow, and we have to be ready for that. Feedback is one of the most important parts of bottom-up approach. But I believe it should be rather the mixed approach between bottom-up and top-down, because there is a reason why senior leadership is taking strategic decisions. They simply have broader view about the business and about its needs. But senior leadership won't ever be able to take well-informed decisions if they don't have any feedback from the bottom line. So the strategy with mixed approach and feedback which is going top-down and bottom-to-top is something that can give us possibility to create products that matters, solutions that are really used, and that people feel to take part of. Because we asked them if they like it, what they don't like it, what they don't like in it, and how they would like to use it. But feedback and listening is the great first part. But even if we do our best with listening, there will be always people that or don't want to talk or don't like the solution, don't like technology, and don't want to use it. They are just like this. So what we can do? We need the leaders that inspire. Leaders that inspire and that are inspired by the people. You know, I love to watch TED Talks, and I am not alone because some of them have like 7-8 million of visualizations. And I was asking myself, why people love that much TED Talks, especially because some of them are delivered by, let's say, unknown people, at least if you are not in this certain industry. And the reason is simple. They are telling great stories, and that great stories are inspiring people to take action. And this is exactly what we need today in fashion industry. We need people that are able to bring another people to push them to take action. And this action is digitalization, is going for technology, is going digital, is changing. And change is not an easy thing. And it will never be. So if people are inspired by their leader or by their colleagues, it's easier to them to take this path and change. How many of you have ever had a great business idea? Something that, you know, in your opinion, could change cards in the table. Please raise your hand if you ever did. I see some hands raised. I thought more than this, honestly, because I am a kind of person that have like 1 million ideas, and my team can confirm that sometimes I am really annoying with my ideas. But, you know, everyone ever had some idea. Not everyone realized it because we are not enough bold for that. But most of mine ideas and also yours are connected to the field we are working in. And this is because we are facing these problems every day. We are solving them because we are problem solvers. And we are experts in that field. And sometimes I am asking myself why fashion companies are not using all that amazing ideas that are running around between their people. And why don't we collect them? We try to understand if they are feasible, and if they are, we implement them into our operations. And there are some ways to do that. For example, internal competitions. We can ask our people to bring us ideas, and the price can be bonus in salary or even taking a part of implementation process. But of course, competitions can be tricky because fashion industry and fashion companies are already very competitive environments. And we don't want them to be even more competitive, and we don't want to break the teamwork. So how we can create healthy competitions? We can create group competitions that later become a kind of pilot projects sponsored by the company. And it has a name, it's called internal ventures, and this is exactly what they are, because our employers are becoming entrepreneurs inside the company. They have to bring the idea, they need to validate it, they need to take people on board, they need to collect KPIs to show that the idea works. And once they will be able to do that, they will show that their idea is solving real problems, that people love it. In this moment, this idea can become a part of our process. We can really implement it into our operations. And believe me or not, but there is nothing better than give our people possibility to bring to life their ideas and to make them feel that that ideas can take part of something bigger. We are not able to engage with our people better than this. And then there is no better way to take people on board than let other people to do it for us. There is a method behind successful DPC implementation. And this method is called trust your people and empower them. If we trust our people, we believe in their experience, their ideas, their expertise, we are creating the best strategy for our company. And that strategy really pays off. It pays off with people retention, with better performance, and also with trust from their side. And we really need this trust, because if we want to bring disruptive technology into so traditional industry, we need our employees trust us that this is the right way to go. Now, I think we should to show Slido. So I have some closing remarks. We won't ever be able to implement end-to-end DPC without our people on board. And without implementing it in end-to-end way, we will or continue to waste money or get back to physical samples and fill landfills with unsold garments, exactly like we are doing today. We have to stop for a second to think about numbers and strategies and start to think about the people, their passions, their pains, their goals. And in this way, we will be able to create the strategy in almost natural way as a consequence. And this strategy will bring us return on investment even higher than expected. We have to stop to think about DPC as a war between technology versus human skill and craftsmanship, and start to think how we can leverage human skills, craftsmanship, and creativity with technology. And our employees will be really happy to help us with figuring it out. And probably then we can back to digital samples again. Thank you.